So I welcome you all devotees today's class on chapter number 18, the last concluding chapter, the Moksha Sannyas Yoga. And that is basically the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 17 was the last chapter, but here Lord Krishna is, after certain inquiry from Arjuna, is going to conclude all aspects of Gita, Bhagavad Gita, that is Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga ultimately, which he says is the supremacy of all kind of yogas. So before we start, let us pray to Shri Radha Gomiji. Yes, Swam Prabha Mataji, please.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you very much.
Om Ajnanatimirantasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Dhanyavadalu, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for the prayers. So this chapter 18 we have covered partly. Initially, Arjuna asked Lord Krishna what was the purpose of renunciation and what was the meaning of renounced order of life, which Lord Krishna very gracefully explained that both indicate the same thing, that is renunciation. A sannyasi also does renunciation, and renunciation of the results of activities, that is also a form of sannyas. And thereafter Lord Krishna explained the Karma Yoga, that is Sakam Karma to Nishkam Karma, then Jnana Yoga, from Nishkam Karma to Jnana Yoga, and by liberation one reaches to the stage of Brahman form of realization. So Jnanis are basically concerned up to the stage of Brahman realization of God form. So after this, when one is established in Jnana Yoga completely and fully, and he has given up all kind of activities, which Lord says that austerity, sacrifice, and penance must not be given up, even by a sannyasi. So when a person has got the stage of liberation, then he enters into the realm of devotional service, and then from devotional service to pure devotional service of Krishna. So this is Krishna is going to summarize further, and then we discuss there are three modes of material nature which control all the activities, and how these activities of body, mind, and speech. We know body is doing very little work. The main work is being done by speech, and more work is being done by the mind. Mind is always active. So activities are not confined physically to the body, physical body which is performing. Actions are taking place mostly by the brain. First is brain, though physically it does not act, but it is the source. And the next level of activities, slightly lesser number of activities are done by speech. And the last is a physical body. And these activities are basically controlled by three modes of material nature. How a person in mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance performs these activities. And then thereafter we learned about what is the aspect of the knowledge, the karma or action, the intelligence, determination, and happiness. These five factors, how they are manifested in mode of goodness, mode of passion, and in mode of ignorance, that was discussed. Thereafter, Lord Krishna told the five factors which are essential for executing any kind of action or activity or karma. The first was adhishthanam, or the place of activity, that was body. Second was the karta, and karta was our consciousness, which is related to false ego. And third was karanam, that is the senses which are responsible for any kind of action to be executed or performed. We know that without senses we cannot perform anything. So then the fourth was chesta. Chesta means endeavor or effort. Without effort, no activity can be carried out. And lastly, and the most importantly, was Daivim, that is supersoul, which is Anumanta and Anudrashta, which permits an action to be carried out by these four factors. So these five factors are principal acting agents why an activity is performed. And we know the activities. Thereafter we learned about that how these activities are executed by body, mind, and speech. So this part we have covered. We have covered up to the three kinds of actions based on the knowledge, actions, karma we have already discussed, determination, then workers and intelligence, and lastly the happiness. This is what we have discussed in three modes of material nature. We have covered. And lastly, Lord Krishna says in verse number 18.40 that not only these six activities, but all the activities which we perform are controlled by three modes of material nature. So that was the summary. And in 18.40, Lord says that all other activities, which not only these six, but all other activities which a living entity performs are controlled by three modes of material nature. And the supremacy of three modes of material nature is such that starting from the first living entity or creature, that is Lord Brahma, to the smallest ant, they are also governed by three modes of material nature. We know the demigods are also controlled by three modes of material nature, and we remember the ire of the anger of or the envy of Indra, who was envious of child Krishna, and we also know how the Lord Brahma was bewildered by Lord Krishna, who was just a child in Mathura, and he performed that Brahma Vimohan Leela. So even demigods are bewildered because they are also under three modes of material nature, and they are one of the four lakh species of living entities. So this is the verse which we studied last. And this now summary of yoga we had just started. That freedom from reaction by occupational work, how one can get freedom from this reaction by the occupational. Occupational work means the prescribed duties for a particular varna, that is Kshatriya, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and the Sudra, they have got certain prescribed duties and they have certain characteristics which are specific to that particular Varna. And those activities must be performed by living entities belonging to that particular Varna. So, but one in the end of this 19 to this verse 48, he says that if one performs his prescribed duties, then there is no reaction incurred upon and the action are not binding. That means person does not land into the cycle of birth and death. This was the conclusion. And emphasis is given by Lord Krishna here that one must perform the prescribed duties. So by prescribed performance of prescribed duties, one gets detached from the reactions. One does not desire any fruits of his activities, and they are non-binding. Other activities which are not prescribed for a particular varna, they are binding. So this is the beginning of next section, section D. All work is controlled by modes, yet one can become free from the reactions of work by acting as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra in Nishkam Karma Yogas. So from Sakam Karma to Nishkam Karma to Jnana Yoga to liberation and the realization of Brahman, and from Brahman to proceeding to devotional service of Krishna, and finally to pure devotional service of Krishna, in which the same attributes or qualities as that of Lord Krishna are assumed by the devotee, are adopted by devotee, and then devotee performs the pure devotional service. So this is the ladder how one can transcend the three modes of material nature and also perform activities as per his varna without incurring any kind of reaction. So this is we are going to study now today. So yes, Swami Prabha Mataji, please continue. Now, Lord is going to describe four kinds of ashrama based on the modes of material nature. This is in reverse order. We will remember Anishtam, Ishtam, and Mishrim. So we start with Anishtam. What is undesirable in the mode of, and undesirable is in the mode of ignorance. Yes, Mataji. So four ashrams, what are their specific duty as per the mode of material nature? The four ashramas, that is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. So these are going to be described here. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Krushipo rakshya vanijyam vaishyakarma swabhavajam परिचर्यात्मकं कर्म शूद्रस्यापि स्वभावजम्. Farming, cattle raising, and business are the qualities of work for the Vaishyas, and for the Shudras there is labor and service to others.
So,
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So, what are the prescribed duties for Vaishya and Shudra? The Vaishya and yes, Vaishya, that is the third category, and fourth category is Shudra. What is the prescribed duty? For Vaishya, it is farming. That is farming and production of grain. Cattle raising, protection of cow, raising of cows, that is, and other family members of cow family, that is their duty. Business, doing trade and business. They are qualities. These are three qualities of Vaishyas. And one quality of labor is described, that is service to others. He does intense labor and service to others. So this is considered to be one quality. So 1 for Shudra, 3 for Vaishya, then 7 for Kshatriya, and 9 for, Brahmana. They are described here. Yes, Mataji, this is 18.42. So from Anishtam to Nishtam.
Yes.
Samudamash.
Chamodamastapah shaucham kshantiraj svameva cha jnanam vijnanamastikyam brahma karma swabhavajam. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, wisdom, knowledge, and religiousness. These are the qualities by which the Brahmanas work. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, next also.
Okay. Shauriyam tejo dhruti draksham yuddhe chapyapalayanam danamishwara bhavascha kshatram karma swabhavajam. Heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, and leadership are the qualities of work for the Kshatriyas.
Thank you,
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So now we'll take up one by one. First is Brahmana. Brahmana, they have got only primary duties, and these characteristics are defined, described here as 9 characteristics. He is peacefully situated in all circumstances, not agitated by adversities or happiness. He has perfect self-control over his mind and senses and utilizes those mind and senses in the service of Lord. He is performing austerity. Austerity means that he performs by self-control. He controls his mind, body, and speech, and also all kind of austerity or tapas or yajna, and also sanyam or niyam that is dedicated to Lord's service. Purity, internal purity and external purity. External purity of the body and daily taking bath and clean dress and all those things, and internal purity by chanting of holy name of Lord Krishna. Tolerance, that he is not affected by hate or discard or any kind of dishonor or respect. He tolerates everything. He criticizes. Honesty, wisdom, and knowledge. Knowledge here refers to the knowledge, the Vedic knowledge, as well as because he is Brahmana's duty is to read Vedas and propagate the message of Vedas to the ignorant persons, and religiousness. These are the quality, and these are primary qualities. If Brahmana does not have any secondary qualities, but a Kshatriya has got primary and secondary qualities both. Kshatriya primary quality is that of mode of passion, but sometimes he is having a dominance of mode of goodness also, which is secondary quality for. And what are primary qualities of Kshatriya? First is heroism. He is supposed to be a brave and a strong person. He has to have some authority, that means power. Determination, that whatever he proposes, he executes that. Resourcefulness, of course, example of a king can be taken here. A king is full of resources, all kind of resources. Resources means not only material objects, the knowledge, money, everything is a resource, and manpower also. And courage in battle and generosity. Generosity means because in mode of passion, he is earning a lot of things. So he is supposed to do charity work for non-government organization or social organization or religious organization, and also give charity to sannyasis, who people in renowned sort of life. And leadership, of course, he is supposed to lead. So these are primary qualities of a Kshatriya. And the secondary quality, as I mentioned, is in relation to sattvic good, that is mode of goodness. Then we come to, these are 7 qualities, 9 qualities of Brahmana, 7 qualities of Kshatriya, and 3 qualities of Vaishya, that is farming and agriculture, raising cattle and protecting cattle and doing business. These are the qualities of Vaishyas. And the labor or the intense labor and service to others, that is grouped as 1. So 1 quality Shudra possesses. Now, this quality, if one performs these activities which are assigned or prescribed duties in a particular Varna, he does not incur any kind of reaction to his activities. And secondly, they are liberating in nature. They do not mind the person if one person performs these activities honestly and sincerely. So, yes, Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Swe swe karmanya birata Samsiddhim labhate naraha swakarmaniratah siddhim yatha yatha vidanti tachranu swakarmanirata siddhim yatha vidanti tachrunu. By following his qualities of work, every man can become perfect. Now, please hear from me how this can be done. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So we just now heard that Brahmana has 9 duties to perform, 9 prescribed duties, a Kshatriya 7 duties, a Vaishya 3 duties, and Shudra only 1 duty. One who performs these duties religiously and sincerely becomes liberated. And perfection means that liberation, ultimately. What is the perfection of human life? Liberation from this cycle of birth and death. So that is the perfection one can achieve by performing one's prescribed duties. Now, how this can happen, this Lord is going to describe in next verse. Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. 46. Yata pravrutti bhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam swakarmana tamabhyascha siddhim vindati manavaha. By worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all pervading, man can, in the performance of his own duty, attain perfection.
Thank you, Mataji. So
Hare
there is
Krishna.
emphasis is that one belong to a particular varna must perform his prescribed duty, and that gives him perfection. We know what perfection means. Perfection means attaining the highest purpose or goal of life, and that is liberation from this cycle of birth and death. Now, by worship, now when one pursues one's prescribed duty, he is virtually worshipping the Lord. But how is he is worshipping the Lord? In fact, is such a person in any of these modes, when he thinks that whatever work I am doing, oh Lord, please accept it and be pleased and be satisfied. So mentally one offers this work, whether it is a heroism, a courage or battle, or killing the enemy of a Vaishnava, or of a Kshatriya, or a purity and a scholarship, and the reading of Vedas, knowledge, all these activities of a Brahmana. Such a person offers these activities to Lord Krishna mentally, says that, Lord, I am doing it for you. Please be pleased. So I'm doing it for your pleasure, for your satisfaction. Then this work does not bind that person materially. He becomes liberated. He does not incur any kind of reaction to his work. Now, so the Lord, this is what is meaning of worship. Worship of the Lord means just offering the Lord, offering the activity and the prescribed duty, and also its results to Lord mentally, and praying to Him that please be accept it, and please, I am doing this for your satisfaction. This is worship. Not a separate any system of worship of Lord is mentioned. Yes, Mataji, next one also. 47.
Yes. Shreyan swadharmo viguna paradharmat swanushtitat swabhavaniyatam karma kurvannapnoti kilbisham. It is better to engage in one's own occupation, even though one may perform it imperfectly, than to accept another's occupation and perform it perfectly. Prescribed duties, according to one's nature, are never affected by sinful reactions.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Mataji. So you can see this picture here. The person is sitting and asking these animals before him to climb the tree, and he wants that tree to know that who can climb the tree. Now you can see from left there is a bird, there is a monkey, there is a penguin, and there is an elephant, and there is a fish, there is a seal, and there is a dog. Now, just by going from left to right, you can see only two of these animals, that is bird and monkey, can climb the tree, because the bodily structure Lord has provided to them is for climbing and resting on the trees itself. The penguin is supposed to live in ice or maybe in water. The elephant is a ground animal or land animal. Fish is an aquatic animal. So is the seal, and the dog is, of course. So their nature is different. Some are living in water, some are living in the ground, some are living on the tree also, or flying in the air also. So if you ask elephant to climb the tree, that means it is an indicative of the fact that a person who has prescribed duty as a Kshatriya should not take up the duty of a Shudra or a Vaishya or the Brahmana. Let each one of the Varna persons, living entities in a particular Varna, do their prescribed duties. And second important thing, everybody cannot be perfect, cannot be so efficient in carrying out his own, that all those duties. A Brahmana may not be very expert in reciting Vedas, but he should do it. However imperfectly he does it, but he must do it, because that is his prescribed duty. He should not take up prescribed duty which is assigned to another Varna. So this is, according to one's nature, are never affected. So one, if he does even imperfectly, Lord is so kind, you see, that he, even if one does his prescribed duty in an imperfect manner, that does not create any kind of reaction. But taking up others' duty is definitely not recommended, which Lord is going to say in next verse. Yes, Mataji.
सहजं कर्म कौन्तेय सदोषमपि न त्यजेत् सर्वारम्भ हि दोषेण धूमेनाग्निरिवावृताः. Every endeavor is covered by some fault, just as fire is covered by smoke. Therefore, one should not give up the work born of his nature, O son of Kunti, even if such work is full of fault.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is a beautiful indication here that everybody must do the duty which are prescribed for that particular varna. Now, an analogy of fire is given. If we want to have light and heat from fire, then the smoke has to be blown off. We know in our kitchen, earlier days when there used to be a chula, the mud kind of thing, we used to make a kacha chula for making. Then the wood will not ignite immediately. It will create a lot of smoke first. But if you want heat, then smoke has to go. The clear light, the burning wood has to come, give it us, bright flame. Then only it can cook the food, and then it can be seen. So imperfection means here, if one is doing his duty imperfectly, that means the fire is perfection and the smoke is imperfection. So if we want to have everything has got every duty or activity assigned to a particular varna has got some kind of imperfection in the form of smoke. So smoke has to be removed in order to have the real, the perfection in the activity. So this is analogy is given. Now we'll take what kind of imperfection may happen in different kind of activities by different varnas. Let us take the example of a brahmana. The duty of brahmana is to do sacrifice, to perform sacrifice. Now, it is a perfect duty. It is perfection if one does it. But imperfection is that some animals or birds which are not, or some animals or insects which are not visible to naked eye might also get killed in the fire of sacrifice. So this is imperfection. That does not mean that one should give up, the brahmana should give up sacrifice. Now take the second example of a Kshatriya. When Kshatriya is in the battlefield, he is killing the enemies. So killing is not considered to be an auspicious activity. But if it's Kshatriya, that is imperfection. But in order to perform his duty perfectly, the Kshatriya has to kill his enemy. So that is perfection. In order to achieve perfection, one may ignore the imperfection that is associated with this activity. Similarly, so far as the Shudra is concerned, Shudra may not be perfect in doing these activity, the service to the three other Varnas, superior Varnas. And so far as Vaishya is concerned, Vaishya the duty of Vaishya is doing agriculture, farming, cattle raising, and business. In business, we know there is some kind of profit is involved always. So profit, the person who is doing business, he hides his profit. He doesn't tell that I am earning so much of money, and that is imperfection. But does he stop doing business? He does not, because business is his perfect duty. That is the duty assigned to a particular Varna in that category. So Lord Krishna is saying that every endeavor is covered by some fault. So even whatever prescribed duty you are doing in a particular Varna, that will of course have certain kind of some faults or deficiencies or imperfections. So, but for because a duty has got some imperfection, a particular living entity in a particular Varna should not give up his own work and should not take up others' work also. Should not take up, a Brahmana should not take. But there are examples here. We know about Lord Parashram. He was a Brahmana and he killed Kshatriyas so many times. He was so powerful. So he took up the role of, but those situations or that conditions demanded at that very time and place. So the Lord Parashuram example comes to my mind. There are many other examples from Shastras where a person, a Kshatriya, had taken up the role of Brahmana, or Brahmana has taken up the role of. And I have already told that they are primary mode of material nature, and there is secondary mode of material nature. Sometimes secondary mode of material nature becomes prominent, and that is how a shift in the world prescribed duty takes place. So anybody else would like to recite now? Yes, Richajan Mataji. Next verse. We are moving on to section C now. Summary of yoga ladder, Summary of yoga ladder. Yes, please, Mataji, continue.
Summary of yoga ladder. Should I go through the whole?
Yeah, Mataji, both sides. This is a broad summary and this is a section summary on right.
Yes, Prabhu. Summary of the yoga ladder, 18.19 to 66, 18.19 to 40, karma, modes control all activities, 18.41 to 48, sakama to nishkama karma yoga, 18.49 to 55, nishkama through liberation, then devotional service, 18.56 to 60, working in pure devotional service, 18.61 to 63, more confidential knowledge, surrender to super soul, 18.64 to 66, most confidential knowledge, become a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. Confidential knowledge, from reaction-free work through Jnana Yoga to Brahman platform and pure devotional service. 49 to 55, one practicing Nishkam Karma Yoga, detached work, attains goodness and the knowledge that he is not his body. He finally attains the Brahman platform. By serving Krishna on this platform with devotion, one reaches the kingdom of God. Verse 18.49 to 18.55.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is section E. Thank you, Sir Prabha Mataji, for so beautifully reciting the slokas. And
Thank you, Prabhuji.
thank you.
Your blessings and Krishna's blessings. Thank you.
Krishna's blessing on you. Thank you, Richajan Mataji. So we have covered this up to 40 Karma Yoga. Then from 41 to 48, Sakam to Nishkam Karma Yoga. Now we are in third section, and that is Nishkam Karma, liberation through Nishkam Karma Yoga, and then devotional service. So in between the ladder, that is how we are proceeding from Sakam Karma to Nishkam Karma to Gyan. Gyan leads to us to knowledge of Brahman, and from knowledge of Brahman, we proceed on gradually to devotional service of Lord, and after devotional service of Lord, there is pure devotional service of Lord. So this is this progression so far. Now, when this 14, verse number 49 to 55, they describe how a person can attain the Brahman platform level. So 18 points, so let us take up it from 18.9. In 18.9, the verse, in this verse, it was mentioned, because a person performs his prescribed duty as considering them as essential duty to be performed, so that is done in the mode of goodness. And in 18.8, in mode of passion, person is indifferent, he does not realize his prescribed duties. Result is, why he does not realize? Because he is too much occupied or doing endeavor for material objectives. He wants to enjoy his senses. So he considers those prescribed duties are very difficult to perform. And he is fearful also, because he says that probably people will start naming or labeling him as a devotee. So he doesn't want to lose his material identity and assume a spiritual identity. So he is fearful. Fear does not mean material fear, fear of identity, that he will be considered as a devotee. So the difficulty is why he does not take prescribed duties, because he finds them very difficult to do, because he is too much occupied with material enjoyment, and fearful because of his identity crisis. So that is in mode of passion. And in prescribed duty, ignorant person, why does not do? Because he is under illusion of, he is under the influence of Maya. He is not, he is totally ignorant. He does not possess a single trace of knowledge that he is not this body. He is looking for bodily comfort and enjoyment only, whether right or wrong, or through right or wrong means. And he is indolent, lethargic, and he's sleepy, and he's taking to intoxication also. So that is why person does not perform prescribed duty. Yes, Mataji, recharge it.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. From Karma Yoga to Gyan Yoga. Who can engage in Gyan Yoga? One who is self-controlled and completely unattached can engage in Gyan Yoga, practicing renunciation. Result, one can attain highest perfect stage of freedom from reaction. Who can engage in Gyan Yoga?
So we have seen the two aspects of Karma Yoga, that is Sakam Karma, and then from proceeding, elevating to Nishkam Karma Yoga, when there is no sense gratification, no desire for fruit of or benefits of the actions, and ultimately person gradually proceeds ahead or elevates himself to the stage of Gyan. And what is this Gyan Yoga? Gyan Yoga means that I am not this material body. I am the soul, I am eternal soul. And the ultimate, and these are the impersonalist persons who are progressing in Gyan Yoga. They do not believe that Krishna has a form, Krishna is a person. They do not believe that this effulgence which is coming, Brahman effulgence which is coming, which they want to merge into, is coming from the transcendental body of Lord Krishna. So who can engage in Gyan Yoga? Certain qualities or characteristics or prerequisites are required to have this Gyan. And what are those qualities? We are going to discuss them in next slide. Yes, Mataji, this. Now, this is the process how one can attain Brahman platform. Yes, Mataji.
How can one attain Brahman platform? Brahman platform, supreme perfectional stage of highest knowledge. Lord Krishna is now going to summarize how one can achieve supreme perfectional stage Brahman, 18.51 to 53.
Thank you, Mataji. So, what is Brahman platform? A Jnani, where does he reach? The quality of this Brahman platform is that it is a supreme perfectional stage. That means there is no material entanglement. Everybody, he has risen above the body consciousness. He knows that it is a material body. He knows that he is soul. He knows that he is super soul, and Lord Krishna is residing in him. So that is not really super soul, but his consciousness or awareness is limited to soul only. He differentiates between soul and the material body. And it is the highest knowledge. This is the highest knowledge, that I am not body, I am the soul. So Lord Krishna is going to describe how one can achieve this perfectional stage. For this perfectional stage, in verse number 51 to 53, certain qualities of an yogi or a jnani are described who can attain this Brahman platform stage. Yes, Mataji, beginning from the left hand top.
Yes, Prabhuji. How to achieve supreme perfection, Bharam Bhuta platform and peacefulness. Controlling the mind with determination, purified by intelligence, giving up sense objects, freedom from attachment and hatred, living in a secluded place, eats little and control his body, mind and power of speech, freedom from all bad qualities born of material conceptions, always in trance and detached, thus one achieves supreme peace. Analogy for peace, a person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still. False ego, false strength, false pride, lust, anger, and acceptance of material things, and false proprietorship.
Thank you, Mataji. We will have to discontinue here. We will take up tomorrow because the other batch, I have overshot already 10 minutes. I didn't notice the time was there. So please bear with me. Thank you, Sneha. Mataji, I'm sorry. Did not notice.
No
that
problem, Prabhuji.
clearly.
Please don't be sorry.
I will just finish up. Please fill the attendance and leave this meeting. Sneha Mataji will continue. So we will continue with verse number 50 onwards, 51 onwards tomorrow. Please fill the attendance and leave this meeting for Sneha Singh Mataji to continue. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to all. Vancha kalp tarubhyasya kripa sindhuva eva patita nam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Anant Kot Vaishnav ki jai, Bandra ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Bhagvat Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to all devotees. And thank you for your association this evening. Thank you, Mataji. Please fill the attendance.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanyavad.
Thank you. I'm assigning this meeting to Sneha Singh Mataji and leaving. Thank you very much again, once again.